request tickets with no intention of attending the rally, all designed to embarrass the president. Well, here to set it straight about this and to explain more about how apps like TikTok may influence the 2020 presidential election is Ash Kazarian. Ms. Kazarian is Director of Civil Liberties at Tech Freedom and also a contributor for Young Voices. Ash, it's good to have you here. So tell us a little bit about TikTok. Who owns it? How is it being used?
Thank you for having me. TikTok is a company that has seen an immense growth, especially in 2020 during quarantine. And it is owned by a Chinese parent company, ByteDance. At the same time, the last 2 years, TikTok spent completely denying its Chinese connections, even though evidence was amounting over and over again. They refused to testify in Senate, saying that their executives are based in Beijing. At the same time, they said they're not a Chinese company. Then their lawyers told New York Times that they're not a Chinese company because they're incorporated in the Cayman Islands. Things like that kept happening over and over again. And I write about it in the American Conservatives, all the evidence that we have right now, and we keep getting more every day. So at this point, TikTok is telling us, who do you believe, your eyes or me?
So maybe a little nefarious situation there with the whole bots and TikTok being used with the tickets. I guess there's a bill in the New York Senate to ban TikTok from being downloaded by state employees, and parts of the U.S. government have banned its use. Why is that?
Yes. So as for the rally, we've seen online shenanigans from young people on our platforms before. What's different is the use of TikTok that is owned by a Chinese company. And it is a national security threat. As you mentioned, U.S. Army and Navy actually banned its active members from downloading the app because there are serious national security concerns. Well, TikTok keeps dismissing all of its concerns and saying that they don't store U.S. citizens' data in China and they store it outside of China and in the U.S. On U.S. servers. They, at the same time, in their privacy disclosure, right, in their agreement, they say, well, we have to comply with Chinese laws. And Chinese laws, basically, they demand any disclosure, full submission. You have to cooperate with the Chinese government. The CEO of ByteDance, the parent company, has written letters reassuring their cooperation with the China's Communist Party. This has to be extremely alarming to everyone in the United States, and especially to parents who allow their kids to be on TikTok.
Well, I know there are concerns about TikTok and other social media platforms being used to influence voters this coming fall. Now, maybe perhaps even interfere in the U.S. election. So tell us about that.
When we talk about social media platforms, we have to understand that, especially the U.S. companies, I mean, they are platforms that exist, they're tools that exist that then are used by bad actors. The problem with TikTok is that it basically merges the bad actor and the platform. You have China, obviously, who has their own foreign policy interests that don't align with the United States. And then they have kind of a grip on TikTok. So we should be very worried on what they can do, especially because amount of data that TikTok collects is immense. There is this lawsuit in Illinois, I believe, where the plaintiff alleges that she downloaded the app, but she didn't create an account, and the app was still recording her keystrokes, how she was using her phone, all of this data that she didn't even, check the mark and say, okay, I give you all of my information.
Well, it's definitely something to keep an eye on as we get closer to the election, because the Chinese very much want to influence our election. Okay, Ash Kazarian of Tech Freedom, thank you for being with us today and setting us straight.
Thank you for having me.